Hi, hi, folks. Welcome to CG. I like to imagine myself back in the day. It's so special. We're just by the confluence here. My pops is Prairie Cree. My mom's got a whole bunch of stuff from Scottish to Norwegian, and I love trying to transplant myself whenever I'm doing these types of activities and imagining how they did it years ago and like how did they format it? Was it a bunch of people up front and everybody staring at them right in the eyeballs, or was it in a circle? And it's like you get into a deep dive and you could go down these rabbit holes online, and it's through that I feel like I can resonate with the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And couple days away from that big day, and I implore all of you to have a look at that commission, the 94 points, and see what resonates with you, and do your own deep dive, and transplant yourself when you're doing these funny activities, and see what happened, back in the day with whoever nations you want to explore. But with that, I want to say welcome to the Ward 9 debate. We've got our stewards for our communities. They're all leaders, and we appreciate all of them coming today. Big round of applause to these folks for stepping up, really courageous. This all started the debate program with Jake Blumez, of course, and he organizes all of this. And I'd love to have him step up and say a couple of words here on the mic, and he can explain some stuff.
Thank you, Dan. Hello, everyone, and thanks for coming out. We have questions, we have candidates, we have our favorite beer. This must be the Ward 9 candidates debate. Thanks again for coming out. Glad the weather cooperated. I'm just going to pass it back to Dan. Dan is the moderator. He'll describe the format. There's copies of the questions on some of the tables as well, and an opportunity for audience questions in the second half. Dan has posted onto Instagram a post, and you can post your questions there. We'll pick them during the break and go from there.
Okay, beauty. Thank you, Jake. So, yeah, a couple of quick shout outs. Forte Sound, thanks for doing all the stage and sound. And then the Sprawl, appreciate you doing the live feed for the folks who couldn't make it in here today. And thanks everybody here for coming. Been blessed with a beautiful sunny day. Some with some good shades on. Yeah, some CG sunglasses on Harrison. Love that. So yeah, as Jake described, we've got 7 questions. I've got this beautiful disco cowboy hat with all the candidates' names in it. And I'm going to read the first question, draw randomly, and the candidate that I draw has 2 minutes to answer that question. And then Jake's going to hit the timer for 5 minutes of rebuttals. Now, these easy cans that are in front of all the candidates, if you candidates want to rebut, please slide that can to the front of the table. That's how I'm going to know a little bit on timing. All right. So slide them back for me for a minute. I appreciate the branding you're trying to do for me, but slide them back. And then if you want to rebut anything, slide that can forward, and that's going to help me understand how much time we have. So 5 minutes for rebuttals. It's going to be a bit ad hoc, like a classic debate, and we'll try to keep it as civil as we can, and we'll give time for everybody. It'll be a fair game. And then, of course, a 15-minute break. And then that's the opportunity for Jake to have a look at all the audience questions. So, pinned to the Cold Garden Instagram. And if you don't have Instagram, make a buddy next to you who does. And post your questions to that Instagram post. And it's going to be voted by most number of likes, as well as appropriateness. If the candidates have already talked at length about something, Jake's probably not going to choose that question, or if it's something totally inappropriate. So that's how we're going to do the 3 audience questions in the second half, and the format will be the same. It's going to be pulling from a hat and 5 minutes of rebuttals. So that's the structure, and then yeah, let's get right into it. We're going to do some candidate intros. This is by alphabetical order by last name, and instead of me reiterating everyone's names already, we'll just cut that right out and go right into Harrison Clark's introduction here, folks.
Hello. Hey, neighbors. My name is Harrison Clark. I've come forward as an independent candidate for this fall's municipal election. I'm also an independent, and I set out a year ago on this journey. I got started in November. I was initially intrigued by the historic nature of Ward 9. It's representative of some of Calgary's oldest and longest standing stories. We have so many unique communities here that go back to the beginning of this city. I wanted to hear from folks about what was on their minds, and so I launched my campaign with 3 pillars: affordability, safety, and a fair share of investment for this ward. Everybody has something to say about affordability and safety, so I felt like it was a really nice way to sort of open conversation with community. A fair share of investment is a statement I wanted to make. These communities have paid their dues, supported the growth of this city, and I think it's time for that money to come home and support our next chapter in these neighborhoods. A year later, I have presented what I think is a very strong strategic plan that is reflective of the needs and wants of our communities, and I'm very proud of that work. I'm also very glad to be here today with you, and I think it's amazing that you've shown up to be a part of this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Harrison. I guess, yeah, why don't we just go in the order in which they're seated here? So, Shirley Doe, if you wouldn't mind, do your 2-minute intro for the folks here.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for all of us here right now. Thank you to the organizer, Jake Blooms, and the Cold Garden Inn for hosting us, and to all of you for being here. My name is Shirley Parungao. I am proud to serve our community as a business owner and nonprofit founder. Through organizations, I help people recover lost identifications and complete important documents so they can return to work and rebuild their lives again. I came to Canada from the Philippines in 1995 and I have worked in many fields: caregiving, cleaning, seamstress, food service, butchering, warehouse, and medical administrations. This experience gave me a real understanding of the daily challenge family face. I am also a member of the Alberta Association Professional Paralegals and also a commissioner for oaths, and also finished my educations in paralegal and continuing into law to legal support. My life experience includes struggle with housing, employment, transportations, mental health, environment, and discriminations, and family challenge. I know the realities many people in our community face, and I believe in taking action and not just talking. As a counselor, I will work with integrity, compassion, and commitment to ensure that every voice is heard and every community is supported. Thank you.
Okay, well timed. Thanks, Shirley. Appreciate that. Something I'll mention here now is when I raise the rubber chicken, that's 10 seconds left. When I squawk the rubber chicken, your time is up. And I will continue to squawk the rubber chicken.
Damn it.
Okay, so over to Tony Dinh. Go ahead.
So yes, thank you to Cold Garden for hosting. Thank you to Jake and the volunteers for organizing. Thank you to everyone here attending in person or virtually. And it's an honor to share the stage with all these candidates. My name is Tony Dinh. I'm running and represent you as Ward 9 City Councilor. I'm a born and raised Vietnamese Calgarian, and my parents came here to Canada to start a new life from scratch. They left Vietnam on a boat, arriving here as refugees. Truly, I feel indebted to this country and indebted to this beautiful city of Calgary. As for academics, I went through the Catholic system. I graduated at Father Lacombe High School, post-secondary SAIT, and University of Calgary, studying civil engineering and real estate development. I've lived all over Ward 9. I've lived in Inglewood here when I was dating my partner, and now I'm a family man. We're married with 5 kids. I'm running because I love this city, Ward 9, and I connected community members on many levels. And I really want to give back to this community that raised me, to inspire the next generation of leaders and to give back to the ones before me and beside me. As for community involvement, I started as a secretary on a community board, worked my way up to currently serving as the president of Albert Park Radisson Heights Community Association. It's been an honor to serve the community in this role. listening to their concerns, hopes, and dreams. And it's been quite natural this campaign, listening, learning on a ward level, showing up and having heart-to-heart conversations with many of you. As for my experience, I'm a self-employed home builder. I've been in business for 18 years. We create local jobs impacting how people live through quality architecture and design. I've knocked on thousands of doors, and my time's coming up. Well, I look forward to having this conversation with you today.
Appreciate that acknowledgement, Tony. Over to you, Gargar.
My check. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so honored to be here today. It's a great opportunity because no one's ever felt this way before. As I sit here, I actually not looking into everybody. I saw the smile, yes, but I see the street behind us. This is where my stories actually have started. When as a 17 years old with no English, coming in as an at-risk refugee and coming down every day to go to San Ann. And every day I'll actually stop here, take down the path, and every day looking at different path in many ways. So it brings so much memories to be unlike here. And every time I drive with my kids, as we knock on the doors, it brings that memory of a teacher, a principal who believed in me. I remember skipping school and even taking full times just to say that the dreams has done. But yet that person actually believed in me and will actually come to Lilydale, just the chicken factory, will pull me out and say, go back to school. And yet I used to be also in the laundry. That was my first job there. So I'll go in the morning to San Ann, come back and go to full time. But yet I think that becomes a dream that came true. Also had a mentor, which is actually Nancy's favorite teacher, that I became a mentor there. And I met this mentor who is the teacher also for Nancy in San Ann. And that's where my love story started. From someone who's coming to help to meeting love of my life. That has changed everything. But as you can see, also one bike changed everything to me. When we came to Canada, the next day, I got this beautiful neighbor that just pulled out and said, "Here's your bike." And I came from two countries where I always felt like they were saying, "One day you're gonna find a home. One day you're gonna find a home." I think this home became this here today, and to sit here in Ward 9, we see that diversity believe in us, and this is why I'm running. I'm running instead of running away from war. I'm running away from this fight.
All right, Gargar. That's a wrap, buddy. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay, Alison, over to you. Sorry, we'll give you a moment to get that mic on there. And do hold the mic close to your mouth, folks.
You're good. You're good. Oh, it is working? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Thanks, Adriana. Hi, I'm Alison Karim-McSwiney, and thank you so much for having us today. So proud to be part of Ward 9 and all the wonderful people that are here. I'd like to recognize the organizers, all the volunteers, and of course, all the candidates. We've been having a lot of fun out there on the trail. I've been working for change in Ward 9 for over 3 decades. Actually, I think I've calculated as 62 hours and 100 that I've actually been working in this area. I believe I'm the most experienced candidate. I've worked with every city department from planning to roads to parks to bylaw and multiple projects. These include projects which are collaboratively done and leading, 176 million worth of makeover of 17th Avenue with extensive public engagement. Some of the other projects that I've been blessed to be involved in is the Journey to Freedom Park with our Vietnamese community, International Avenue Arts and Culture Community, which I helped to create, also the International Avenue Mural Society, and we have now 55 pieces of art on International Avenue, which are supporting and promoting local artists. Also, I've been involved with 12 Community Safety Initiative, and I also created Emerge Hub, which is a retail incubator. I've also helped to support and start many cultural events, including Global Fest, the East African Festival, and the very popular Easttown Get Down Independent Music Festival, which I think all of you would probably really like since we do have the Music Mile down here. I believe that this is a critical election for our city for many reasons, and I hope you'll vote for me on October 20th as the most experienced candidate. And I'm absolutely committed to bringing your concerns to City Hall. I'm part of the Communities First. I joined them because of their platform. It's not ideological. There's no left or right in having your streets plowed or your garbage picked up. The party has 7 platform points, which I agree with completely. One being responsible and accountable to citizens, running an efficient and effective city, getting back to basics, municipal infrastructure, public safety.
That's got to be your app, Ariana. Or sorry, Alison. I appreciate that. But you will have time to comment on all those things throughout the debate here. Okay, next up, we've got Ariana Kippers. Take it away.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here, as well to those online. I would like
And hold that close to your mouth, Ariana.
feel weird, but okay. My name is Ariana Kippers. I am running with the Calgary Party for Ward 9 City Councillor. I'm a lifelong resident of East Calgary, a mom of 2 young children, and a fierce advocate for the communities we all call home. Service is at the center of who I am and what I do. Supporting my neighbors led me to deepen my community work, and when I started hitting walls, I started demanding answers. My motivation to serve led me to work in the Ward 9 constituency office, where I connected residents to the information and services they needed. Now, running for city council is the next step in my path to supporting my neighbors and the kinds of communities that nurtured me growing up in Calgary. I want my children to feel as empowered and embedded in their neighborhoods as I did in mine. I want Calgary to be a place that they can afford to live in, a place where they feel safe, and a place where they feel they belong. I'm ready to do the hard work to get us there. I have experience working at City Hall in supporting our residents and in getting things done. That's why I, along with mayoral candidate Brian Thiessen and the Calgary Party, have put together the most balanced and comprehensive plan for Calgary in this election. Our vision combines good people with good policy to deliver great results in Ward 9 and beyond. I know how incredible our ward is. I have built my entire life here, and I am more than ready to fight for its future. Join me in the Calgary Party in this election for governance that people can count on and results that we all can enjoy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ariana. Marina, over to you, please.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Thanks, Cole Garden, for having us, and Jake for building this debate all together. My name is Marina Ortman, and I'm stepping forward to represent you, the Ward 9 residents, with purpose and dedication. This campaign is not just about me, it's about all of us, our neighbors, your families, and the communities that we love and we call home. When I immigrated to Canada, I was faced with challenges to adapt into culture and the language, and by the sound of it, still do, so forgive me for that. But I also found an opportunity. I graduated University of Calgary with Bachelor of Arts in International Relations. I built career spanning legal and management roles into founding a design studio, which is rooted in creativity and sustainability. But no matter what I've done, my commitment to community was always number one. I volunteered for Crime Stoppers, for Elizabeth Fry Society. Many of you know me from Save the Inglewood Pool campaign and other initiatives. I'm not waiting for the council seat to do the work. I'm actually involved in communities now. I'm currently working with residents in communities of Renfrew, Ogden, and Albert Park in assisting them in bringing their issues with the city. I know the trust you place in me is not given lightly, and I will carry that trust with deep gratitude. I appreciate your honesty, and I appreciate the concerns you bring up with me at the conversations at the doors. It will be a privilege to represent the collective voices of Ward 9 at the City Hall, to advocate on your behalf, and to promote what's dear and most important to you. And together, okay, I'm on the last minute, we will unite our diversity and we will work together through the partnership you can trust. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks, Marina. Thank you to all the candidates. Appreciate those introductions. For those at the back, there's tons of seats up here. Feel free, get in like it's Oktoberfest style community tables. There's also seats at the very, very front here. So don't be shy throughout the talking. That's fine. You can get up and go. These folks are professionals up here. And on that note, Connie over there in the corner, you don't have to miss out on any comments. If you want a beer, our man is right there. Okay, folks. So with that, why don't we get right into the debate? So just to repeat so everybody understands the game, we're going to randomly draw. Question number one's coming up first. If you want to rebut, slide that easy can to the front of the table, and I'll be able to acknowledge your rebuttal from there and try to keep those rebuttals to about a minute tops, and I'll keep you honest on that with my rubber chicken button. Okay, folks. Question number one. Local political parties are new to Calgary City Council. Why do you choose to be part of a municipal party or to run as an independent? And to answer this question first is Alison. Take it away. You've got 2 minutes starting now.
Okay, thank you so much for the question. I chose to be with the Communities First team mainly because I believe in the 8 principles that they have. We're working together as a team. We are not, we don't have bylaws. We're essentially working with economies of scale. So instead of having to actually purchase a separate office, we're all working together. Also, I believe that there's an incredible amount of experience that is at the Communities First. And so I believe that I can do a great job with them. And also, the whole premise is for communities. And I truly believe that your voice is the most important thing. And that's what this team is trying to get back to. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much, Ariana. You've got something to say? We're going to start the 5-minute rebuttal period now. Go ahead.
Thank you. So Albertans didn't want political parties. We were polled and our stance was clear, but Danielle Smith did it anyway. I was concerned that political parties would enable candidates aligned with the premier to further dictate what happens in our city, despite the will of those who live here. And so we started the Calgary Party to stop that from happening. When city council doesn't work as a team, that toxicity spills down into administration and prevents everyone from making the progress that Calgarians need and deserve. Our city workers and residents are right to want better. I know that if we elect competent Calgarians with a commitment to collaboration and good governance, that we can deliver great things for our city. I spent the last 8 months working with other candidates, not just building policies, but building the skills required to govern: communication, compassion, and a commitment to getting things done. We aren't trying to build a mainstay here in Calgary. Rather, we're here to build a great team of great individuals who insist on delivering thoughtful
Okay, wrap it up soon.
and measurable results for the city we love.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Harrison, looks like your hand's up front. Go ahead.
I'd like to speak a little bit about being an independent candidate. I've chosen to come forward as an independent because I believe it's the most honest and accountable way to govern at this level of government. There's lots of conversation about we're not really a party, we're not really in this together, we're all individuals, we're just riding this banner together. I think it's really important that we clarify that perhaps is not the way it's being presented. There is a diversity of opinion and views across these communities. And I think anyone coming forward to do this work should be ready and willing to advocate for that diversity. And so as an independent candidate and as an independent counselor, I believe that you'll have more flexibility in your ability to make the right decision for community. I think our counselors should be accountable to us first, and that should be the priority. Thank you.
Thanks, Harrison. Shirley, go ahead. Got about a minute.
Thank you. I'm running as an independent because my commitment is to the people of the Ward 9, not to any political party. As a councillor, my duty is to listen and act on what the community fully needs. Your voice and your concern are what matter most to me. Your concern is my concern, and your problem is also my problem. I am not different from you. That's why I'm running to help find real solutions for our shared issue. Independence give me to freedom to focus on what residents
10 seconds.
prioritize. Work openly with all councilor and make sure every decision reflects to the people I serve. Thank you.
Over to you, Tony. Go ahead. I see your can.
So local parties are new brought in. Is this working? Okay. Local parties are new brought in by the provincial government Bill 20. But the truth is organized politics have already been happening. Last election, there was a very powerful pact. They raised boatloads of money and they spent $1.7 million to endorse their candidates. And so with this new bill, the idea is to level the playing field now so that voters get more clarity and transparency on who they're voting for and what they're voting for. I decided to go with the Better Calgary Party because I believe in the principles. As a conservative, as a fiscal conservative, I believe that the voters get more transparency in seeing what they're voting for. This party is there's no leader.
10 seconds.
There's no party line to toe. It is to level the playing field.
I appreciate that. Alison, go ahead. We'll allow that rebuttal.
Hi there, just to give some clarification. So with the Communities First, we actually will work to get elected, but we always will vote the way that our community needs us to. That's very clear. One thing I did want to say is Ariana, who was speaking about the Calgary Party and working for John Carlo Cara, he's behind the Calgary Party. And also, I find it very, incongruent that you're talking about cooperation, because I think clearly
10 seconds.
that counselor is not known for that. Thank you.
Ariana, is that an old can? Oh, sorry, Marina, that's your can? Okay. Go ahead, Marina, and that'll be the last one.
Everybody's got good points here, and the one thing I do want to mention is, and you guys are my party. For me, I run independent, and I will answer to you, and I will work with you, and we can work together, because we haven't seen that done yet. So let's give it a try. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. First question, folks. Appreciate that energy. So let's move on to number 2 here. How will you make Calgary's downtown streets safe and enjoyable during your term? And the winner is Ariana Kippers. How will you make Calgary's downtown streets safe and enjoyable during your term? And your 2 minutes starts now.
So we're very fortunate to live in one of the most beautiful cities in the world, and we are transitioning to ensure that more of our city can be enjoyed by more of our residents. A thriving, energetic downtown fuels a growing city. Downtown is where we work and play, and our businesses citywide benefit from a downtown where people want to be. However, we also find ourselves at the intersection of overlapping affordability and mental health crises. That means more unhoused Calgarians with fewer social supports and a severe lack of housing options. Too many of our people are not safe or don't feel safe on our streets, not just downtown, but throughout the communities in Ward 9. This is why I, along with the Calgary Party, offer a housing first strategy that puts housing considerations at the forefront of all decision making. We will get people housed, connected to the relevant social and community supports, and enable our city to thrive. We'll balance compassion with enforcement to provide our law enforcement with what they need to keep Calgarians safe. This means downtown CPS detachment, further collaboration between police and essential organizations like Alpha House, and enhanced bylaw presence at transit stops, as well as staffed washrooms for more eyes on our downtown streets. We can and will build a downtown that works better for everyone.
Okay, thank you very much. Rebuttal, Shirley, why don't we start with you?
Thank you. I will focus on the 3 keys area: safety, revitalizations, and support. First, we need a stronger safety measure, better light in the dark areas, more CCTV cameras, and 24/7 monitoring outposts that work closely with the police for quick response. Second, we must revitalize downtown by supporting business with fair rental rates and parking fees, and by creating more family-friendly space and community events. We finally need enhanced support service, ensuring drop-in center, clean, respectful, and provide real pathway for change. By combining safety, economic activities, and supportive service, we can make downtown secure, vibrant, and welcoming for all Calgarians again.
All right, thanks, Shirley. Let's go over to you, Alison. Go ahead. Got about a minute.
Thank you. I'm going to take a totally different turn on here. I actually don't think that downtown is really a concern of mine. My main concern is Ward 9. And we have found that there has been tons of money that has been filtering into downtown for downtown safety. And what it's doing is it's displacing a lot of the social disorder and issues that we're finding, and it's going out to the outlying communities. The difference is that when you're downtown, you have security guards that are in your buildings. You can go up to a 14th store and it doesn't 14th story and it doesn't impact you as much. What we're finding out in the east part of town is that we are getting a lot of crime that's happening. We actually do have really good data. We're getting 51 people that even came from downtown that were displaced into the greater Fort Lawn area just even 2 weeks ago. So I would say that we focus on our ward first and make sure that that's the priority.
Thanks very much. Tony Dinh, go ahead.
So I'm going to go the other way, and downtown does feel not safe and enjoyable. From speaking to community members from Richland, Renfrew, Ramsey, Inglewood, they feel that they didn't plan it very well when they have to walk by homeless people and social disorder, and each morning and evening coming to and coming back from home from work. So, public safety is paramount to revitalizing our downtown and making it enjoyable. We need to have a safe downtown, and that'll help with our tax increase our tax base. We need to deal with the cleanliness. We need police. We need social workers and supports, and we also need a downtown police station that we need right away.
Appreciate that, Tony. Gargar, why don't you take it away? You got about a minute.
Mic check. Well, the biggest aspects about it is looking at Calgary. Calgary should be a beacon of hope, and I think a lot of times the fact we start with downtown, and we do a pushing policy where, like, let's say with the homelessness. So we start with the drop-in center. When we look into, like, everybody's getting told you have to get out at 7 o'clock. Now get out to where? And then if we continue that momentum and building on an emergency aspect. So if you look into Calgary as a city, we always look into emergency after emergency, but there's no vision. And that's where it affects the Ward 9. So a lot of times, every issues that get pushed out of downtown, it comes through the East Calgary. So it starts from Bridgeland, Ramsey, then it goes down all the way until Belvedere. And it's sad to see this one, but yet we have not seen it. The Moses strategy is coming in and saying, how can we solve it within downtown? All of those things that we have just said are already being done, whether the downtown safety.
Okay, thanks, Gargar. Harrison, I see your can.
Thank you. I think it's really important to acknowledge that we are dealing with a growing population across the city. We're going to see 2 million people here in just a hot minute. And as that population grows, it diversifies. And some of our standing problems that we've seen on our streets for many, many years now are evolving. We now see behaviors that maybe we're not used to or less comfortable with. And I think it's okay to acknowledge that. But what do we do about it? And I think activation is incredibly effective at creating safe spaces. I think that we need to encourage and support our downtown communities, including our inner city Ward 9 communities here, to grow.
10.
To make sure that we have adequate lighting, landscaping, and so on. I think it's also important that we support the organizations doing this important work. We have a lot of frontline service providers. As councillor for Ward 9, I will make sure that they are funded and supported in ways that are effective.
Thanks, Harrison. Well, Alison will allow you a rebuttal. That'll be the last rebuttal for this one.
Just like to say that there are some incredibly systemic issues, and I believe that a lot of them are not being dealt with, and that's why we do have such a problem downtown. My organization that I work for currently hired our own security team. We also have an ambassador program. We've helped to get 231 people off the street. And how we've done that is we've actually really gone into what are the systemic issues and the holistic issues that are keeping you on the street. How can we help? Our success has been about really delving into the issues. The other thing is security. We've been able to also put 50 bad dudes away. So when you're actually collaborating with a number of agencies, you can do some amazing things.
Thank you, Alison. Appreciate that. Marina, did you have your can out there? We'll allow you 30 seconds if you want it.
I just want to point out something that when we talk about safety and crime, we need to identify what are we talking about. Is this the crime caused by homeless people, or is this the organized crime, and go from there. So far, we only addressed some, by the sound of it, what the homelessness caused. So there are different approaches and there are different ways to deal with each and one of them.
Thank you. This is some good, robust discussion. Thanks, everybody. I don't like being the bad guy, but I respect all of you so much. I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm trying to be respectful of our audience's time, too. So here we go. Question number 3. What is your view on the accessibility of bike lanes in Calgary over the next 4 years? Would you expand, maintain, or decrease the network, and why? That's a long one. I'll repeat it for the audience. What is your view on the accessibility of bike lanes in Calgary over the next 4 years? Would you expand, maintain, or decrease the network, and why? Tony Dinh, take it away. You got 2 minutes starting now.
All right, so I would expand the network with the notion that just give back our roads. I'm not in favor of losing car lanes for bike lanes. That is not helping alleviate traffic. That is not making our lives greener in any way. It's not convenient, and we end up having more cars delayed, cars idling in the same area where 2 car lanes could have kept traffic moving. So I am in favor of expanding the bike lanes. We got to find them somewhere else, maybe in the fields, pathways. I grew up in riding bikes in the fields and stuff like that, and so I don't think it's safe to ride bikes along the roads. I've heard people in Renfrew, they would never let their kids ride the bikes on there. It's not safe. I think that we can expand the network without taking away any of our roads.
Thank you very much, Tony. Appreciate that. This will be some robust conversation, it looks like. So, Harrison, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, thank you. I think it's important to acknowledge that, as I've spent the last year across Ward 9, I see cyclists in every one of these communities, and not just the casual Saturday afternoon cyclists, but the lifestyle cyclists. I think it's really important that we acknowledge that a growing city will see its transportation models diversify. And I think if we're talking about the future of this city, we have to keep that in mind. Cycling is a way of life, like I've said, for a lot of people, and we should be working to support that. I believe continuing to expand our bike lanes and pathways is a proactive step to take in our growing city. Rather than being a reactive one, we can take proactive steps here. Let's make sure that these are real connection points for folks to and through our communities. And that's how I feel about it. Thank you.
Thanks. Shirley, why don't you go ahead? Harrison, take your can back for me.
Thank you. I believe biking should be expanded and encouraged, especially during the summer month when more people use it. Cycling provides many benefits. It promotes better health, reduce traffic, and help protect an environment. Since more residents are outdoor during the seasons, it makes sense to improve and support biking at the time. At the same time, we must balance this with the rights and safety of all road users. Pedestrian drivers and cyclists during winter, when bikes use is minimal, we can keep our roads in their regular conditions to ensure everyone has a fair and safe access. This way, all residents can enjoy our roads equally and responsible. Thank you.
Thank you. Gargar, go ahead.
Yeah, the first thing I would like to say is for the 3 years we have given over 6,000 bikes, especially from during COVID to the kids, and it has a lot of impact that it has done to the kids. What I'm trying to say is the bike lane becomes a polarized political aspect. Is yes or no, rather than giving it back to the community. And looking into Ward 9, there's a lot of diversity. Every community comes with different characteristics. If we look at just behind us on the street, we have to ask ourselves, did the community said yes, they want the bike lane or no? And coming back to that engagement, what I would like to see is first bring that into community. Would you like to expand it, maintain it, or what happened? And work with the community. Currently, the bike lane issues has been polarized of yes, left or right, or yes or no. And that has actually divided the community more than bringing the strength. What I would like to see is bringing this topic back to the community and asking each community. We have over
10.
we have over a couple of communities that are saying, yeah, I would like to have it. For example, in Forestland, in 8th Ave, there's currently, this is the exact conversation that is happening. They feel like it's just getting told, bring it here and get it done. And later on, you will see the consequences.
Thank you, Gargar. Alison, take it away.
I want to take that rubber chicken home. Is that okay?
It's mine.
Yeah, no.
You got a minute.
I'd just like to say yes, yes, and yes. So I think we can expand the network in some cases. We can maintain it in some cases, and we can decrease it in some cases. It really depends on the actual situation. One thing that we did up on International Avenue is we felt that it wasn't safe to have a bike lane right on the actual roadway. So we negotiated with Alberta Transportation to allow us to have 10-foot wide sidewalks that allow bikes and pedestrians. And it's been working extremely well for the last 8 years. So I really think that it's up to the community and to look at what actually is working, and it needs to be very specific for whatever community and how well it's being
Ben.
used. There are some areas that are actually quite dangerous for cyclists, and I'd like to take a look at that as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ariana, I see your can. Go ahead.
So Calgary is a city built for cars, and as a cyclist myself, I am in support of that. For so many in our ward, cycling can be the difference between employment and unemployment, between community or isolation. And it's also the most cost-effective way to move people around our city. It costs far less to build and maintain than our roads. A well-connected, safe pathway unlocks opportunities across the city for all. But we don't have true connectivity right now, so we must provide more and better access for Calgarians who don't want to or can't afford to travel the city by car. The option of alternative modes of transport is just that. It's an option, but it's one that gives us the opportunity to meet some of our goals, like reducing congestion on our roads and to better connect our people with where they want to go.
Thank you. Marina, I see you.
As an avid cyclist myself, I know bike lanes matter, but they have to make sense. Too often, what I see in Calgary is these bike lanes are done as an optics as opposed to functionality. They end abruptly and go nowhere. In the next 4 years, I will be focusing on revising the current bike lanes and expanding where it makes sense and make sure they work and not to endanger cyclists on the roads. So make it functional as opposed to looking good. We've got so many bike lanes. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much. So we're going to wrap that question up. And I do want to remind the audience, do post your questions to that pinned Instagram post, because on the intermission, we've got 4 more questions here. And during that 15 intermission is when those questions get tallied. And you've got to like the questions that you want Jake to pick, Jake and his committee to pick. So with that, we'll move on to question number 4. Calgary's sprawling land area is large for a major North American city, bigger than NYC, Toronto, and Chicago, adding extra costs to all households. How do we address the escalating costs to citizens of urban sprawl? Harrison Clark.
Thank you. I think that this is a really fundamental question that we as a city are facing. We are one of the largest in North America, and I think that we are struggling to maintain the infrastructure and support this sprawl. And so as I look to represent what I consider a very inner city ward, I have to note that I think this is the perfect time to look at how we can better invest in the inner city, in our inner city neighborhoods, and nurture the inner city urban lifestyle that is emerging here. I think we're in the midst of defining that for ourselves. I've talked about a fair share of investment for Ward 9 from the beginning now for the last year, because we have had to carry the cost and the burden of this city's growth for decades at the cost of our infrastructure, our rec centers. It's time to revisit our established communities and to see is because a lot of the people that are moving here now are looking for that urban lifestyle. And so I think we have to take a proactive approach to supporting that.
Thank you very much. Alison, go ahead.
Thank you very much. I take a bit of a different view on it. We have 853 square kilometers is the actual size of Calgary, which is absolutely outrageous. I would like to actually, with the transit going all the way out to the far vestas of part of the city, I would like to see zone fares where the further you travel, the more you pay. I'd also like to see that if our council recently actually approved another 5 communities. Can you imagine? So I want to see that the actual developers are paying their fair share. Right now, they're not paying all their fair share of infrastructure, and I think that that needs to change because people in the inner city have already been paying for decades, and it's just not fair. If you want to have a large single family home, you need to pay a little bit more.
Thanks, Alison. Shirley, is that can out front? Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Calgary is one of the largest in North America, and the size comes with the cost. Expanding outward means about roads, utilities, and service that family end up paying for. What we need build smarter, not just bigger. That means stronger public transit, compact communities, and mixed use development so people can live, work, and shop in the same area. Modernizing, zoning for the sustainable growth, and supporting local businesses help residents access what they need nearby. Some, some who raise the family, I know the challenge of balancing costs by focusing on concentrated, sustainable growth. We can reduce the household expenses, shortening communities, and create neighborhoods where people truly want to live. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Shirley. Okay, folks, so we've got question number 5. When do you feel provincial involvement in municipal affairs is legitimate, and when is it overreaching? And Shirley, keep the mic. You've got 2 minutes starting now.
Thank you. Provincial involvement is not always helpful to the community or the municipality because our provincial authorities may not fully understand the specific needs and challenges of our local community. As a local leader, we are in these positions to assess, organize, and make decisions based on what truly best for our residents. We have a closer connections to the people, understand their priorities, and the better positions to implement solutions that address real on the ground issue. While guidance and support from the province can be useful in certain areas, it becomes counterproductive when override local knowledge and decisions making. Therefore, provincial authorities should trust allow us the space that determine and implement what our municipality and community genuinely need. Thank you.
Thank you, Shirley. Alison, I see your can. Go ahead.
Hi, I think that sometimes it's interlinked. So if you have provincial funding, you often can't get provincial funding or federal funding without provincial funding. So I think that we need to be aware of that. I also think that the most important thing is to ensure that our city gets its fair share and Ward 9 as well. And I'd also like to say that we actually have delved into some of the provincial legislation and what their work is by doing a lot on mental health and addictions, which is clearly really a provincial responsibility, and you're paying twice. The city's doing it as well as the province. So I think that we need to look at specific situations and then figure out a way forward. We do have to work with everyone, and we need to make sure that we get our fair share. And by doing that, we need to be collaborative.
Thanks, Alison. Ariana, go ahead.
Thank you. So this is kind of a difficult question to answer. I do believe that the relationship matters more than the specifics. It's in a clearly defined relationship between the province and municipalities. Both can collaborate as well as hold the other accountable for their respective responsibilities. However, as we're aware, that's not where we find ourselves now. We don't have a clearly defined relationship with the province, and this continues to create challenges in how we govern here at the municipal level. Calgary cannot both be responsible for more while simultaneously receiving less. So we need to address the state of our relationship with the province and establish clarity in governance, roles and responsibilities, so we're meeting the needs of people we serve. This question was being tackled by Jim Prentice together with Mayor Nenshi, and that continued under Premier Notley. We are moving backwards with Premier Smith. So we do have a plan to get a better deal for Calgary, and that starts with establishing a municipal charter to clarify decision-making authority, to ensure that we can keep more of our tax dollars here and create formal collaboration mechanisms and remove political interference.
Thanks. Harrison, go ahead.
I think as a resident in Calgary, like one of the disappointments that I feel, and I think I've heard across the ward and across the city, is the breakdown in the relationship between the province and us as residents here. I think that is in part to a dysfunctional council and certainly not a team playing province. And in my thoughts here are, the province should play a supportive role in its relationship with our city. Alison commented about the healthcare and the addiction services and the overlap there. We need them at the table to support us in that. I think it should also be there to help us execute our plans and our visions that we set forth as residents in this city. Unfortunately, right now we're seeing overreach and opinion about things like bike lanes and the Green Line. Municipal parties are another good example. I believe that what comes next in this relationship is a more unified council, one that can join the province at the table and coherently advocate for the unique needs of us as Calgarians.
Thanks, Harrison. Gargar, go ahead.
Yeah, the biggest part about collaboration comes down, it's a great collaboration when the provincial comes in to help. For example, we built a basketball worth of $1 million at the first one, and that actually helped save a lot of kids being at risk, being issues to come all the way to downtown just to play basketball. But if you can see that we got 300,000 worth of that funding from the provincial. Now, what makes it so much is also even the political aspects and the things that are happening right now. When you hear we're staying in our lane, as a councillor, I believe that we have to be an independent. It's easier to advocate because if you're independent, you can advocate with an MLA, you can advocate with province, you can advocate with federal, regardless to whoever in the power. That's what Ward 9 needs.
Thank you, Gargar. Alison, go ahead.
Just a quick clarification of what Adriana said about, Mariana, I'm sorry. The municipal charter, we already have such a thing. It's called the Municipal Government Act. And, most of everything that we do in the city has to follow the Municipal Government Act. It's been there for many years. Thank you.
Marina, is that your can there? Okay, go ahead, Marina.
I feel like I'm always behind here. So again, everybody brought up valid points. All I have to say is my commitment is to work with everyone because residents deserve solutions, not political gridlocks. So that's all I gotta say. We gotta be able to work with everyone for your interest. Thank you.
Tony, do you want to talk about that? Go ahead. We'll give you 30 seconds.
All right. Yeah, I want to echo that. We need to collaborate with municipals and provincially. I also believe that we need to stick to what a city's mandate is. And right now we are subscribed to the Climate Emergency Act. That is not a municipal mandate purview. It is a federal. And so I would work to repeal the Climate Emergency Act because it's costing too much of our money and we got to get back to the basics.
Thank you, Tony. Jake with the saucy questions. I knew that would be a heater. So Next up, we've got number 6. What obstacles do you see in providing adequate housing for low-income Calgarians, and what are your ideas to overcome them? Marina, you got 2 minutes. Please bring your cans back. Thank you. Tony, bring that can back, buddy.
So
Thank you.
first,
Go ahead,
First,
Marina.
we need to be clear. What type of housing are we talking about here? Is this to rent or to own? Because they require two different approaches. When we talk about the housing for low income housing to rent, there are two issues. There's a inventory and management. My understanding is current inventory there are empty units standing and serving no one, and I'm not sure what is happening until we go in to see what's really happening. There will be no, I cannot offer a solution at the moment, but these are the 2 points I know: management and lack of and low inventory. When it comes to housing to own, the inventory is low. Again, we need to work with, we see what the availability is, converting towers perhaps in downtown for low income. So again, it's the inventory that we face with, and that we have to look how the process is designed at the city of Calgary and start building solution on that. Thank you.
Thanks, Marina. Ariana, go ahead.
Thank you. So Calgary is a great city to live in, lots of amenities. We are in a housing crisis. There are limited stocks across all different housing types, and that is creating a downward pressure on low-income Calgarians. And so we are supporting a housing first approach, and to meaningfully address the housing needs of Calgarians, we have to increase our stock of available non-market housing from its current and decreasing rate of 3%. In some of the most livable cities, the quality of life, where quality of life is the highest, non-market housing accounts for 15 to 18% of total overall housing. So we have to establish a goal of 15 to 20% of our housing stock as non-market to provide adequate options for Calgarians. This means leveraging appropriate public land, partnering with provincial and federal governments to establish pools of funding, and facilitate partnerships between private sector, nonprofits, and Treaty 7 nations to deliver affordable housing.
Thanks, Ariana. Alison, you go ahead.
I think there's many different levels of affordable housing. I'm really in support of attainable housing. That allows someone who may not be able to get a mortgage to actually buy into a property. They pay a very reduced mortgage rate. They have to live in the actual units. And when they want to sell it, they actually get the equity back and then it gets them up economically. I think that's incredibly important. And I also think that affordable housing, we can do a bit better. I'd like to see that all new apartments, no matter if they're luxury or whatever, has a mandatory 20% of affordable housing in there. And I also think that we need to be careful with our transitional shelters and homes. They are not actually, the city is not following that. The municipal development plan, which means that they need to be small in nature and spread throughout the city. So we need to look at that as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Alison. Gargar, go ahead.
The biggest obstacles is even when we did the Blanca rezoning is to fix the housing affordability. But even the houses that we were building are way more unaffordable than what we have. So that's the problem. Sometimes we do political check mark to say, look, instead of one house, there's 5 houses. But to truly build a housing that all Calgarians can afford is coming back and seeing how do we repeal the current blanket rezoning and bringing it back to community-driven zoning. If you look at the communities, they want zonings. They want to develop communities. They're not saying they're against it. What we are seeing is, for example, developers are saying that they're building more, so they have to charge more. So the question is then that's not an affordable housing. The second one, I have a real plan that I wanted to see. Not only building the module right now, we give house lands to non-for-profit, then it takes years to build. For example, the Southview, where now it's not getting built, but we are building more eightplexes than the affordable housing. We need to expedite to build those affordable housing along with those housing that we are building. So the percentage has to count.
Thank you, Gargar. Tony Dinh, go ahead.
So our affordable housing non-market stock for Calgary is sitting at about 3.5%. And any major city in Canada is sitting at about 6 to 8%. We're talking about Toronto, Vancouver, and so Calgary needs to catch up on the non-market housing. And what that would actually do would help people get off the streets, this vulnerable population, and actually be able to provide the social, mental assistance that they need, and have them nourished, and then eventually become more productive citizens in our city. And it's actually fiscally responsible because it's actually a lot of strain on our emergency personnel when we have an overdose. We have firefighters, we got EMS to address these overdoses. So we need more affordable housing.
Thank you, Tony. Shirley, take it away.
Thank you. The issue right now with the crisis right now is the housing, and having the expensive buying the house, as myself in my experience, it's so hard now to get your own house. It just always to be a dream for everyone because of the down payment that you have to come up, and it seems like your salary doesn't work anymore with all the expenses we have every day. And with that, we have to make it sure that we are here to stand and let the government know that we need our salary to be put up more. So at least we can accommodate to buy house for our families, and not just also for profit to make it these businesses to buy it, but let these people to accommodate and benefits the housing that we're going to build.
Thank you, Shirley. Harrison, I see your can there. Go ahead. You can close it out.
Thank you very much. Yeah. I think it's important to acknowledge that complete communities are socio and economically diverse communities. And I think it's also really important to acknowledge that in Ward 9, these communities generally have always been that. There have always been renters in these neighborhoods. There's always been working class people here. And I think that in our rush to renew and revitalize these spaces, we cannot push these people out. That's not appropriate. And unfortunately, we're not seeing the private Unfortunately, we're not seeing the private market bring a lot of this affordable housing online, as some of these other folks have said today. $650,000 to $800,000 is not an affordable entry point to the housing market. I'll say it out loud. I've spoken with young people trying to find their place in our communities, and what is often overlooked actually are the seniors trying to stay in their communities. You know, these folks have been here for 45 or 50 years.
Man.
Oh, jeepers. Okay. We need to take bold action here, explore cooperative housing models, and support those organizations that are already working specifically on mixed income and affordable housing concepts.
Thanks, Harrison. Appreciate that. And folks, don't forget, we do have a meet and greet after the whole thing. So if any of these questions you feel like you want more elaboration on, the candidates will be back there closer to the tap room at their own tables, and you're absolutely welcome to chisel them back there. So, final question, number 7 of this first half. As a city councillor, what concrete actions will you propose to make Calgary more resilient to climate change? Not sure why I'm pulling this, but it's fun. Gargar, you're the final one.
Forgetting this one. For climate resiliency in Calgary, start with practical, affordable, local actions. So not just keywords and not just declaring it, but what are the actions that we take every day as a Calgarians to have? Also, as we build the communities, we have to keep in mind how do we make those changes so the ripple effect can come and for 30 years to come, not waiting. Once earlier, I described Calgary as being on an emergency action plan. Every time we have something, we have to declare an emergency. The question is, when can we start with vision? And I think that's what Calgary lacking is a vision that we can say from today, what kind of climate action plan looks like in the next 30 years. Then we build from today to the next generation to come. If we continue to build a city that is based on emergencies, then we don't see the results. And that's the biggest issues that we are facing as Calgary. So once again, we have to get out from the political partisanship. We have to get out from ideology and come back to Calgarians. When we see all the Calgarians and we ask what kind of community that you wanted to see for 30 years, we have the answers there. The question is, we always use the check box and to see when those issues happen. There are a lot of obstacles and platforms, but there are opportunities also that we can do to make sure. Because of the chicken, I can't really go deeper into them, but I have a real plan that actually address those one for the next 30 years to come.
Thanks, Gargar. Okay, Alison, go ahead.
I think the most important thing, first off, is to repeal blanket zoning. What's happening with that is we're seeing an incredible amount of housing being knocked down and then putting in eightplexes. What's happening is they're removing the tree canopy. They're also not having the native flora and different grasses. It's being concreted over, so that's incredibly important. Also, 9% is all that we have for green energy, and we need to increase that. NMAX can do much better than it has. And also, I am aware that Toronto has just started a composting for diapers as well as sanitary products, and that actually is reducing their landfill mass by 8%. So I think that's something that would be really interesting to look into. And finally, we need to make sure that our tree canopy is larger. We only have 8% right now.
Thanks. Marina, take it away.
When we talk about climate resilience, we need to focus on practical local actions that protect Calgarians in their daily lives. One concrete step is increasing Calgary tree canopy to Alison's. You're right, we're 8.65%. We should be at 30. So we are way below the average. Trees reduce heat, absorb stormwater, and improve our air quality. That climate action people feel right in their neighborhoods. Second, we must stop selling out green space within the city. Once green space is gone, it's gone forever. And those natural buffers are critical for cooling, drainage, and community well-being. Finally, I would build trade-offs into negotiations with developers. If you want to build, you also need to give something back. Whether that is a park space, stormwater improvements, or contributions toward tree planting. Developments should add resilience, not take it away. These are concrete, achievable steps that make Calgary more resilient while also improving quality of lives for all of you. Thank you.
Thanks. Ariana, go ahead.
Climate change is a current reality. There's more smoke days that keep us locked in, golf ball sized hail, damaging our cars and our houses, increased risk of flood and drought. And so we have to adapt where we can and mitigate where we must. So mitigation looks like dense, walkable city served by robust transit and active modes of transport, as well as heavily green tree networks. I agree. Adoption requires us to pursue more robust fire and hail resistant builds, more indoor recreation facilities so our children can play, and a well-funded emergency services and emergency management. One of the greatest undertakings that Calgary can take now to secure our future long-term from threats of both flood and drought is construction of the
10.
Upstream wet reservoir on the Bow River. And so the city's my home, I care about it, and I want to ensure that our future is protected for our children and grandchildren.
Thanks, Ariana. Shirley, go ahead.
Thank you. For me, I love environment, and therefore I am taking care of the environment that should be taken care of with discipline. Our self discipline will help our support the climate a lot for our future. If we love our family, we should be care for all our environment and our community. Discipline is the key also. And also putting more trees and supporting more plant more trees and expand more green space and investing renewable energy and water and drainage system to
10.
protect the neighborhood from flooding. We also promote sustainable building public transit and active transportation. Engaging the community, serve energy, reduce waste. Thank you.
Thank you, Harrison.
Prior to owning my business here in Inglewood, I worked for the province and did community and stakeholder relations work. And one of the main projects over the course of my time there was upstream flood mitigation for the community of Bowness and those communities as the river entered the city. It's an important conversation. Of course, neighborhoods, communities have impacts on the environment. And so how we mitigate that and support that is really important. I think that the city has a good track record of supporting and offering grants for things like hail resistant roofing, like we've talked about, solar, heat pumps, and other efficiency programs. Many of these programs have either ended or are fully subscribed, so I would like to revisit that and see where this can be expanded.
10.
The city will pay, sort of pave the laneways and alleyways. Can we create an opportunity for folks to access these with property tax expenditures, that sort of thing? And of course, the tree canopy. Thank you.
It's like there's two more that want to speak. I'll give 30 seconds each. Go ahead, Gargar.
Yeah, I think the biggest part is we say we need this, and then on the other side, we go around and do something different. The biggest issue right now is Dover. So there is a one park that is there. We didn't even realize it was changing until I was taking my ice cream and noticed that there was a public hearing. When we went there, we found out that it was getting rezoned, and it's actually a park. For the past couple of years, I thought it was a park, but the city came and they said, no, it wasn't rezoned a park. So we said, okay, can we do it now? Now they're trying to do another one. So they went to the second stage to say it's an affordable housing, non-market. So the question is, we need both. We need parks and we need non-affordable housing. But the question, when you get the community to lose parks over things like this, then we are actually changing communities, and we are losing more green spaces. During that
Thanks,
time,
Gargar.
Ariana was actually a community liaison, and she said, you know about it. You should have known more, and that's the problem.
Sorry, Gargar. You got to wrap it up, my friend.
How much?
I appreciate your passion. Ariana, you go ahead.
So as we are all aware, we are in a housing crisis. There are many seniors sleeping in their cars, sleeping on the streets. And so we do need to build affordable non-market housing. That space, as well as David D'Oughton, is going to see a great park space that will be more usable. If you spent time in Dover, as I do and live there, you would see that that space is not well used. What is going to come into that space is a beautiful home for families or individuals, as well as a lovely park space with lots of trees that will be accessible by everyone surrounding that area. So I look forward to seeing what comes in to make that space more usable for the residents in Ward 9.
Okay, thanks, folks. Again, you can absolutely elaborate on that stuff at the meet and greet. So that will wrap round one of our debate. So if you haven't done it yet, please get quick on the button and like whatever your favorite questions are, because the top 3 liked questions on that Instagram page of Cold Garden are going to be what Jake and committee choose for the audience questions in the second half. So if you aren't on Instagram, talk to your neighbor, like whatever post that you think is best, and we'll choose the questions from there. Got a beautiful day here on us. There's still lots of seats up front. It sounds like summer like this. You can find them inside the tap room, and Connie there too. So that's a wrap for the first half, folks. We'll be back in 15 minutes. And we're going to get things started here in a couple of minutes. Get started here, folks. So the format is the same. We have 3 questions from the audience. They're great. So same format. If everyone can pull your easy cans back towards you, just so that I'm not confused, then we're gonna get started here. So, first question: what are your plans for public transit? You can go a lot of places with this. We're gonna have 2 minutes and then 5 minutes of rebuttals, and we'll try to keep it fair. But I will use the chicken. Don't be offended. Okay, Marina. The question again: what are your plans for public transit?
It's funny that this question came up. I just had a conversation with Tudor. Are you still in the audience there? Or yes, there you are. Thank you. Thanks for bringing this up. Well, the current state of transit is a bit of a mess. So there are, I hear from my door knocking experience, what I hear from residents is, A, there are less buses now available. There is, transit is unsafe. People actually do all kinds of things on the buses that are that deterring the riders, that actually lowering ridership. Now there's apparently what Tudor brought is their lights are not syncing and the transit is standing in line, just not bringing people to work on time. And well, Alison, you brought up the further you go, the more expensive the transit should be. I don't agree with that actually. You know what? You shouldn't be punished for living a bit further away because you cannot afford living in the middle of the city. So thank you. There is a lot of work to do. And again, like I said before, offering a solution that is actually proper, we need to see how it is done within the city. And I will not be able to do that until I get in there. And you will see what I will see. And in partnership, we will fix what is broken at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Marina. Is that Ariana's can? Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
You. So I hear from a lot of folks on the doors that it's challenging to get where you need to go in a timely manner on transit. And so we need to fix their service to ensure that we have faster intervals and reliable service. We also need to build the green line. We need to get it back on track, headed up north. Um, we're almost at 2 million in the city, and we need to make sure that we have that option for folks getting to and from work. I would also like to see the blue line make it to the airport. We're one of the cities that don't have that. And we want people to come here. We want businesses to be here. So we need to ensure that that infrastructure is in place. And of course, making sure that our transit stations are safe. So as we build these out, we need to be thoughtful about what that station is going to look like to ensure that we're not encouraging disorder, but we are welcoming and opening it up for events, or not events, activities, and just more use from the community in those spaces.
Thanks very much, Ariana. Alison, go ahead.
I think some things that we can do to improve transit is, of course, we need to make sure that it's affordable and that it's reliant, and also has increased service. So then it's something that can get people to work on time. I'd like to see more electric buses, and also more CNG powered buses. I think that that's really important for a climate change perspective. And I do agree with Ariana that airport service is incredibly important, and also safety. Thank you.
Thank you. Gar, go ahead.
I think mostly what we do is we see the decline in transportation, but then we penalize the people for not taking it rather than solving the issues. I think the transportation safety is the core course. If we see a lot of people go from work to home, home to work, and taking it, but when it's not safe, then it becomes critical. We need to bring that safety in mind. We need to make sure that Calgarians are safe. We did it wrong when we had the red line, whether going until Marlborough and Franklin in Ward 9. And also when we did 17th Avenue, we did the purple bus, but we didn't put that in mind as well. And the consequences. What I would like to see if I get elected as a councillor is making sure not only getting the green line, but getting a green line and making sure it's safe, reliable,
10.
and effective. I think it's not about how much we increase how much to charge the Calgarians, but how safe it is and how equitable and how on time it is. Our transportation is a mess right now, and we need to get it fixed.
Thank you, Gar. Tony Den, you got some time? Take about a minute.
So public transportation has been a big topic for Ward 9. And I echo some of the comments as the other candidates. We need to get the green line going ASAP. It's been talked about for years and years and years. And it will actually help activate other parts of the city where the land is sitting there and it could be densified. We can get transit-oriented development, more density, and these are long-term investments that we need for our city that will pay off in dividends in decades over and over. Growing up, I took LRT and to get from the northeast to downtown. So we need to get from the south to the north. And like Ariane, I think mentioned, we got to get to the airport. We're a world-class city, and any world-class city has world-class infrastructure. So we need to create that. The infrastructure at ASAP and get good paying jobs there.
Thank you, Tony. Shirley, go ahead.
Thank you. For the transit, really important is affordable, not only for all of us, but also for the student, and always there safely, and always bring the student to safely to their going, and ride respectfully, and use always benefit, always think that the benefits will be always the user of the transit. And it's really expensive now, especially with my children going to school, and the bus pass is really expensive. So once I become a counselor, I will look into it in that, and maybe make the fare will be cheaper than
10.
right now. Thank you.
Thanks, Shirley. Harrison, go ahead.
Thank you. I think Ward 9's in a unique position because for what has been approved for the Green Line, Ward 9 will see 5 stations coming across its communities. So I think it's really important that we have the opportunity to set the tone around interconnectivity and movement for the 21st century. And I think that's really where we are now. We have to be making decisions that are reflective of the times in which we live. And so, of course, I'm a proponent to see that Green Line make its way north and for us to get a train to the airport. Central North Calgary is as old in some ways as our communities, and they are very limited on infrastructure. That's got to change. And that's it, I think.
Thanks, Harrison. Appreciate all those answers. Okay, question number 2. All right. How do you propose to balance the preservation of historic communities in Ward 9 with the changing needs of the city? Again, how do you propose to balance the preservation of historic communities in Ward 9 with the changing needs of the city? Answering is Shirley. You got 2 minutes. I'll repeat the question. how do you propose to balance the preservation of historic communities in Ward 9 with the changing needs of the city? Go ahead.
For me, is the accessible and affordable, sustainable. Um, with the serving of the developing communities, so everyone has access, not just central areas. Improving frequency and liability so that transit become real and alternative to drive in. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much, Harrison. Why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, thank you. I think this conversation is one of the most important, as I've seen it across this year, talking with the communities in Ward 9. We seem to be, I was really concerned that as we got close to the election, we'd land in a place that was, you're either for it or against it. It's a yes or no. And I think both sides of the conversation.
Folks, we're just going to pause
It'll just give me one minute.
momentarily. If you have an N95 mask, now would be a good time to put it on. We live in Inglewood, folks. We love it. We love it. This is why we're here.
That's right.
We love the train.
This speaks to the history of our city, right? I mean, this is like the first through line, really.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Beauty. Harrison, go ahead.
Thank you. And so, both sides of this conversation are too important for one of them to lose out. It has to be a conversation about both. These communities are renewing. We are seeing generational renewal as well as the pressures of a growing population in this city. And we've got to do both. And I think, if anything, the pressures of blanket rezoning and all the frustration we've seen about it has really highlighted that we as a city do not have good historic preservation policy in place to protect these communities. It is not standing up to the pressures of now. So it's an important piece of what we do next is revisit that policy and bring that forward.
Thanks, Harrison. Gar, go ahead.
I'll definitely echo what Clerk said, because when we look at it, every door, I think it's always Calgarian being faced with two choices. It's either to take one over another. But we can build a city where we can have both. We can start with the historical and building for the community, because everybody that comes for every Ward 9 communities, they live in because they wanted to be part of that history or they buy into it. Ward 9 is rich of histories, and yet when we did the park in Forestland, for example, we had to go back and we couldn't find anything about historical sites. So the question is like, why are we bulldozing the history and yet we're building new? We can have both. We can actually balancing it and toward working with those historical sites. I met people from Ramsey here that are working with safe histories. I met people from Ogden. There are a couple of people also from different communities. If we listen and engage, I think that's the key aspects. What I would like to see is reappeal the blanket rezoning and building it back to something called community revitalization plan. That it starts actually with looking into history. Why would somebody buy in that community and then build from there? If we do that, then we can never get to lose those historical sites.
Thanks, Gar. Alison, why don't you go ahead?
Thanks for the question. I think it's incredibly important to make sure that our heritage buildings are protected. Also, iconic signs also need to happen. I think we can help with some upgrades with green initiatives. And I was very sad when the Grecian Walk went down, and it was something that I don't think anyone really expected, because they did it just with a building demolition permit, which was really sad. There was quite a successful facade program that happened along Main Street, 9th Avenue here, and it was funded through the Alberta government Main Street program. And so most of the facades were redone for that, and I'd like to see that come back, because I think it's extremely important to embrace our heritage. Thank you.
Thanks, Alison. Ariana?
So we do live in one of the most, historic wards in the city. The communities, the people who live here built the city, and they continue to every day. And what I think we need moving forward is to bring folks together to ensure that we are all discussing the changes that are coming and making sure that we are focusing on our heritage and what needs to stay. The difference between our current counselor and myself is that I want to work with neighbors. I don't want to hold anyone back anymore, but I want to bring people along, make sure that we know what's most important for these communities, that we are preserving where we can, and then we're also allowing the city to move forward. There is a lot of history and heritage that's being lost, and I know it's really important that we have that maintained. And so part of that is making sure that we have strong relationship with the residents, and I do want to
10.
let you all know that we will do this together and that I will be here to listen to you and to communicate with you on a regular basis. Thank you.
Thanks, Ariana. Marina, go ahead.
So, first of all, I'd like to, something that came to my attention a while back, that we have something that's called, I believe it's Inglewood Heritage Land Development or Preservation, which has been on hold since 2005, and no one being able to explain to me why. And well, we've seen what happened to Inglewood. Grisham Building was the greatest example. It just basically ripped the soul out of our beloved community. Moving forward, couple of things that needs to be done. When you own a heritage building, that comes with a greater responsibility to protect that building, to keep it updated. And we have to learn by example. For example, in Montreal, that owning a heritage building comes with such a list of things to do that you will not be able to remove it. Now, Planning Commission uses this phrase a lot of times that this building has reached its what is it, life expectancy. So when it comes to heritage building, I do not want to hear that expression. No, we are here to preserve and we are here to protect. And
10.
by removing the building and leaving a plaque with the explanation of what it used to be, that is not the answer. And our heritage committee should be ashamed of themselves for doing that. So thank you. Let's protect it. Thanks.
Tony, then we'll give you some time. Go ahead.
Thank you for the question. So I'll expand a little bit on Marina's. Sorry, Marina. I will expand on Marina's comment about the heritage buildings. I think it's going to take courage for some people to actually go through with the heritage designation. We're not seeing that enough, and people are worried about their property values or what would happen. But people actually have to step up, go for the heritage designation, and protect these buildings. And without that designation, it's not going to happen. And so, if you know anyone with a heritage building or any sort, go for it. I talked to someone in Ramsey, and they're going to put on heritage. They will sell it, but with the heritage designation, so that nothing can happen to that building. And I think it'll take more leaders to take that initiative to protect our heritage buildings. I'm currently protecting with a group in Ogden to protect the Ogden block, 704 Ogden Road, building that I used to own that the city threatened to expropriate me if I didn't sell it to them for the Green Line. And so I'm a builder by trade. I love architecture. We need to protect our heritage buildings.
Thank you, Tony, for that insight. Yeah, that'll be a wrap for that question, folks. So the last one from audience questions. How would you improve engagement between council, administration, and citizens? So how would you improve engagement between council, administration, and citizens? Ariana Kippers, go ahead. Two minutes.
Thank you. So prior to joining the Ward 9 constituency office, I was a community connector. And so my job was to engage with residents, going door to door, asking them about how things are in their community, and then utilizing the community association as a place to gather and to talk about the problems in our communities. I am I love talking with people. I love bringing people in and connecting them to the resources that they need and just helping them overall. I think that it is really important, especially now that we come together at this moment in time to ensure that we are able to communicate, able to find that balance and consensus so we can move forward together as a city. And so I don't want to spend a lot of time downtown at City Hall. I want to be in community on a regular basis and accessible to folks. I don't want residents to be surprised or shocked by things that are coming because they will be fully aware prior to. And so through my office when elected, know that I will be available. We will have regular meetings. I will attend the community association meetings as well, because I think that Ward 9 has so much to offer the city. I'm tired of us being put down and being ignored and neglected, and I'm going to lead us through the future, ensuring that we get the most benefit out of it. So please, thank you for your support.
Thanks, Ariana. Alison, go ahead.
I think currently the engagement that the city has been doing is missing a lot of things. It's really not as good as it could be. Often you see survey questions that only have 2 questions, and you cannot actually get good engagement, in my opinion, with that. So I also think that it's incredibly important to ensure that we have regular meetings with all communities and stakeholders. And I certainly would do that, as well as a brain trust committee. I have heard from a current counselor where administration is actually giving counselors communication toolkits, and I would never, ever do that if I was elected. I wouldn't be following any line. I want to represent you fully and collectively.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Marina, go ahead.
Before I start, I just have to ask: has anyone spoken in chambers before city hall? Has anyone? Okay, cool. So you know the 5 minute, right? 5 minute rule, 5 minute of fame, I call it. I want to change that. First of all, there's so many things wrong with that particular thing because you get 5 minutes and that is it. You don't have a chance to rebuttal. You don't have a chance to ask administration tough questions. You don't get a chance to actually even defend yourself. I always say, even at court, you have a chance to actually get back at the people who are throwing the curveballs at you. Anyway, so that will be change number 1. Second, open doors. I want you to come to me at any time, and you know where I am. We want to build a satellite office somewhere in the middle of Ward 9, so you are always in touch either with the people who work with me or me directly. Attending community associations, absolutely. And okay, you threw me off a little bit. But here's the you, like I said, open doors, and I will, you know what? I'm here to listen and I'm here to work with you. That is it. Thank you.
Thanks, Marina. Gargar, go ahead.
The biggest thing I wanted to bring forward is called community councilor conversations. We don't have to meet when there's an issue or town hall when there's a big problem. We should be there when the community needs us to listen. And those will be throughout the Ward 9. And they will be led by example. So if I get elected as councilor, it becomes those stuff that will happen naturally. And the community will come with their input. The other part that I would like to bring is called constituency office. So bringing back City Hall back to community. I think there's so much issues that and trust that has been broken, and we need to repair that between the community and the councillor's office. I would like to see if I can propose to the city to have 2 days in the community and then 3 days in the city hall. That will definitely change the conversations. I've been doing that also as a community mobilizer. That's my full-time job, which is basically bringing people down into one table where it's not really to listen to solve their problem, but actually to come in and listen to ideas and listen to the problem. I'm gonna take that one.
Sorry, Gargar. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Harrison, go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah. Over the course of the year, I've gotten to know what communication looks like, and I've heard from lots of folks that the system is broken, the process is broken. In my reflections, I think that our community associations have important roles to play in bringing community voice forward. I don't know that they're entirely empowered to do that. I think that the city councilor has more of a responsibility in participating in those associations. And I think it's also important to acknowledge that our communication styles have shifted. And simply arriving at 7 p.m. for that meeting cannot be the only way in which we communicate our messages to these associations. So we've got to look at that and sort of make sure that it's equitable in terms of conversation and that everybody is represented in these ways. And of course, like with administration, there is lots of breakdown. And so what you'll want moving forward is a strong communicator, somebody capable of engaging in those conversations and bringing that forward.
Thanks, Harrison. Shirley, go ahead.
Thank you. honestly, since I've been here in Calgary, in Community Ward 9, for 27 years, I don't even know who is my counselor. And, I don't even know because it means that it doesn't serve you that much, right? So, means that when I become a counselor, I will ensure I am not that good in English, like what you said, you see, but my actions speak louder. And I'm making sure to address everybody concerned and the benefits that's supposed to be every community will getting. Therefore, we have to make it sure we going to be address all the concern and all the questions that they have. We should not ignore them. We should take actions for it. Therefore, Calgary is not just Calgary for nothing. Thank you.
Thanks, Shirley. Tony Dan, why don't you finish us off here on this question?
So, being the president at Albert Park, Radisson Heights, I think it's very important to have representation from your counselor. We didn't get much communication from our counselor or representation, and community associations they feel like they're neglected. They feel that they can have an opinion, they can talk about developments, they can comment on whatever projects are happening in their communities, and council will just override them. And if I'm elected, I would like to get more influence, more power to the community associations, and invite other people to take an active role in your community association and really play that role and have your voices be heard, because right now council is just doing what they want.
Okay, thank you, Tony. Huge round of applause, folks. It is no easy task to be up against this rubber chicken. That was incredible debate. Really appreciate that. Shake it off. That was awesome. So now you've got 2 minutes each to do your closing remarks, and we'll do that in reverse alphabetical order, and starting from the far end of the table there with Marina. So 2 minutes starting now.
Try to fit in. Thank you, everyone, for listening, taking the time of the day, coming here, and then dealing with us. As I mentioned, my name is Marina Ortman. I'm running to represent your voices and the work for you. What I hear is this: trust between residents and the city it has been broken. I can see why people give up. Some don't even want to vote because they don't believe change is possible. People are frustrated with costly extras, while the basics, right to own home, safe roads, and proper infrastructure are left behind. That's why my campaign is grounded on back to basics, practical common sense priorities. And let me say this: the number one point on nearly every candidate's platform across the city is listening to the people. How did we get here? Listening should never have been a campaign promise. It should have already been the foundation of local government. The fact that it isn't shows how far we drifted from accountability. As I mentioned, I'm not waiting for Council C to do the work. I'm already doing the work. I'm responding to residents, meeting with them, listening and working on engaging proper resources and assisting them with the issues and concerns. I've proven that I will stand with the community and make sure voices are heard and taken into account, and that will never change for me. My message is simple: the partnership you can trust. There are different types of ships. There is leadership, there is championships. I believe in partnership and working together with residents and open door policy. I look forward to bringing your voice to the council chambers to advocate on your behalf and to resolve issues that matter most to you. On October 20th, I ask for your support. Let's build trust, strengthen our communities, and get back to basics together in a partnership you can trust. Thank you.
Thank you, Marina Ortman. Okay, Ariana Kippers, your 2 minutes starts now.
Thank you. So I'm Ariana Kippers, and I'm asking for your vote on October 20th for Ward 9 City Councillor. You've learned about my work, about the Calgary Party, and our plan for the city that we all love. We're ready to fight for Calgarians, and I'm ready to ensure that Ward 9 residents see the rewards of that. I'm going to advocate for Ward 9. This is my area, this is my home, and I will always have you at the forefront of my mind. We have the solutions for the housing crisis. We have a commitment to address our infrastructure gaps, and we have a balanced approach to public safety so that more Calgarians will get more out of their city. We are the only group poised to meet this challenge head on, and the complex and interconnected challenges facing us throughout Calgary today. We've been very thoughtful. We've collaborated across the political spectrum, and we've put forth a bold vision for this city that will propel Calgary to greater heights. So I'm asking you to join me as I continue to fight for our residents, for our communities, and for our future. Thank you.
Thanks, Ariana. Alison, your closing remarks. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. I'd just like to say that I hope that you'll consider me for Councillor Ward 9. I do bring a lot of experience. The one thing that I believe is that City Hall is broken and you need someone who can essentially, as soon as they are elected, can actually get things done. I can do that. I've been working with the city for over 30 years. I know many people, and I also know land use and a number of other things. But I think the most important thing is to have a representative who does listen. And really, it's all about you. So it doesn't matter what I believe, it's really about what you believe, and to have someone that can advocate on your behalf. I believe that I can do that. I always have my door open for the businesses that I represent up in East Calgary. They know that they can call me at any time and that I will do my best to solve problems and be innovative. And so I hope that I can bring that experience for you. I also do want to say that I think blanket zoning is a real problem and it does need to be repealed immediately. And you need someone who can do that. And I will do that with the other communities first party and make sure that we make the area safe as well. And again, blanket zoning, real problem. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Alison. Gargar, closing remarks.
Well, hello, everybody. Calgary has given me and my family countless opportunities to be who I am today. And in nowhere that this history could be possible, except even the system when it says like on a risk kid that can even finish their high school and actually get English. I'm here today because of the community. And I thank everybody here for being here today. But those opportunities are fading away. Every day, every Ward 9, fighting just to stay, fighting just to feel safe, and fighting just to afford even the living. Affordability becomes a crisis, whether you're working full time. That's why we opened East Calgary Food Bank, where we tried our best to help everywhere we can. And we opened a pet food bank. Also, when the COVID started, it opened a lot of eyes, whether the mental health that was existing there and the community that has been long forgotten. I knew how it feels when you lift and when you are not being heard or even being unseen. And I think that's every Calgarians and especially Ward 9. To make a Calgary that best for all, we have to look into a Calgary that works for all. It's starting with solving problems rather than pushing it by checkbox or whether by pushing it in one community. Ward 9 becomes an example of that, where everything it becomes a checkbox and no actions being done. If I got elected, I wanted to live in a community that is safe for my kids to walk in and it's safe for my community to be able to call it home and the pride. Currently, I feel like everybody is being kicked out and being forced to move. And that's something that needs to be changed. It's starting by bringing those voices on the table. I hope I get this opportunity to serve, a service that I've been providing for the last 20 years. From bikes that we did, 5,000 bikes to 6,000 computers that we provided. Every one of them target the affordability. Affordability is not just a talk. It's not just somebody who lost a job. It's all Ward 9 people that are living here. October 20, I hope you get Gargar.
Gargar, everybody. We kind of knew he'd be over a little bit, didn't we? All right, Tony, your closing remarks.
So thank you everyone for this conversation. You know, I've been talking to people for months and months and months, and they're saying that City Hall is out of tune right now. It's being mismanaged. And just when you thought that they've had enough, they increased their taxes by 5.4%. And right now, people can't afford this. They want fair taxes. They want to get back to the basics. They want City Hall to deliver what the city's mandate is to their citizens. And so part of my promises for city council is to repeal the blanket rezoning. As a builder, I know what's available. I know the certainty that you have as when you undertake a project, and 2/3 of people are against it. And so I'm against blanket rezoning. And there is better ways to build housing. There's the main streets and the and TOD sites. And it's just a sign that City Hall is not listening to the people. And I want to make sure that the people are being heard, they're acknowledged, and they're respected. And Ward 9, they have felt that it's been far too long that they're not getting their fair share. I want to fight for our fair share. I'm currently, as the president of Alvin Park, I want to bring more tree canopy all over Ward 9, but we're neglected, and we need to fight for our fair share here. I'm gonna repeat that I would repeal the Climate Emergency Act, and and I hope that you vote for me October 20th. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony. Shirley, closing remarks, 2 minutes.
Thank you. I understand that many of problems and questions asked in the past are still being asked today. They have not been fully resolved. I cannot promise that every issue will be fixed over the night, but I will work hard to make real progress on them. My goal is to ensure that moving forward, residency change and solutions for the future debates are about new opportunities, not the same old challenge. I am asking for all of you to vote. Who do you think to support the candidates who truly address and solve the problem and issue? And also communicate to our community so at least there is no one left behind. It's very important that you dedicate your positions to everyone, not for your benefits. It's supposed to be for all our community and the people live in a Ward 9. Thank you.
Thank you, Shirley. Harrison, 2 minutes.
I didn't think to write anything down for a closing statement. That's kind of crazy. My name's Harrison Clark. I'm your independent candidate for Ward 9. I've campaigned for a year now and set out on affordability, safety, and a fair share of investment for Ward 9. And I have to say, I think we're at a very exciting moment in time for these communities. And I think we should go to the polls with some optimism and some hope. We This is not the election cycle to buy into I will fight for you or I'll be your voice at City Hall. I'm one of the only candidates that's actually put forward a strategic plan highlighting exactly what I intend to do on a number of the things we've talked about today. I think that accountability is really important, and it does speak to the erosion of trust that we've seen across the political landscape. Um, I don't really have much else to say other than thank you. It's been an incredible journey. I know so much more than I did when I got started, and I think that's really important. I'm a small business owner, entrepreneur who's like built my life with my hands, and it would be my honor to work 6 days a week, 12 hours a day for you. And I think that's about it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Harrison. As I said, folks, what an incredibly courageous crew to be up here today. No easy task. Big round of applause. Thank you all in good hands here in Ward 9. I really appreciate everybody coming out, and thank you to everybody's optimism and engagement here today. And please, Jake and the committee who organized this, could you please have a little stand and Jake and his squad back there. I see you all. These folks are volunteering to put this together. Maybe whoever gets into Ward 9 can help us out with a grant someday. That'd be cool. But big round of applause, everybody. Thank you so much. Vote, tell your pals, have some discourse. The meet and greet is going to be back there. Their tables, everybody has their own table back there. So have a beer, have a chat, hang out.
Did you get a ticket for a free?